Okay. So, hello class. First of all, I would like to welcome you to our virtual classroom. So, before we start, let's have an opening prayer first. May I call Mr. Miranda to lead the prayer? Mr. Miranda.
Yes, madam. Wait lang. Okay, so let's go ahead into the presence of our Lord. Lord, thank you for this day that we are gathered at this meeting, especially for demonstration of Mom Claire. Guide her through the lesson and for us to learn. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Miranda. So now, once again, good day, class. So, can you please turn on your cameras now? But first, may I ask you if I am audible? Did you hear me?
Yes,
Hello?
ma'am.
Okay, so how are
Yes,
you
ma'am.
today, class?
We're fine, ma'am.
Oh, it's good to know. So now, I have here some reminders to follow our online etiquette. So now, first, use the raise hand button and unmute your microphone if you are about to recite. And for the second one, kindly mute your microphone if you have nothing to say. And for the third one, during class discussion, always be prepared because I'll randomly call your name. And for the last one is cut responsibly. Are we clear with that, class?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now let's proceed. The next and for your attendance, kindly comment your complete name in the chat box. And for the information of everyone, in this forum, this session is recorded so that I can always review the content of the chat box and including your messages. So, and for your assignment, this time I know that all of you have passed your assignment. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so before we proceed to the next topic, let's have a recap about the previous last meeting. So, what our last topic was about? Okay, Mr. Miranda. Mr. Miranda, what was our topic last meeting?
Mom, it's all about the electrical hazards and
Okay, very good. So, I'm so glad that you still remember the previous topic, and I hope that you're still reading your notes. And now, uh, before we proceed to the next topic, let's have an activity first and entitled by Pika Pika Flurry. So now I will read the mechanics and class. Please listen attentively. So here is your mechanic. Uh, First, choose one flower inside the Pika Pika Flurry box. And for the second, to get your answer, um, arrange the letter into correct answer according to your question. So now, um, I call your name randomly and you choose one flower and answer the question inside the flower. So may I call Mr. Malikram to play the first activity. Mr. Malikdam, are you here? Okay, Mr. Malikdam is not around. Okay, Miss Apales, will you please choose one flower and
Sunflowers.
Okay,
Sunflower, ma'am.
sunflower. Okay, sunflower. So you choose sunflower. So here is your question. Um, Ginagamit pang-ayos pero hindi sa relasyon. May maliit, malaki sa mga sira, ito ang solusyon. So, what is your answer here?
Tools, ma'am.
Okay, let me see if your answer is correct. Okay, tools, very good. So now, the second one, may I call Mr. Miranda to answer that? To choose a flower.
I choose sunflower, mom.
Again,
I choose Mirasol, sunflower, mom.
sunflower is already chosen. So you choose another flowers, Mr. Miranda.
Sampaguita, jasmine.
Okay, you choose sampagita. So now, here is your question. Ito'y ginagawa sa mga gamit sa bagay, hindi pansit pero nakakapagpahaba ng buhay. So, what is your answer here? Mr. Miranda. Hello, Mr. Miranda. So, read again your question. Ito'y ginagawa sa mga gamit sa bahay, hindi pansit pero nakakapagpahaba ng buhay. So, what is your answer? Mr. Miranda.
Ito ginagawa sa gamit sa bahay.
Yes, again.
Maintenance, mom.
Maintenance. Okay, let me see if your answer is correct. Okay, you get a correct answer, maintenance. So, now class, what did you notice about the topic for this day? Taking activity. What did you notice about the topic for today? It's all about anyone from the class.
Mom.
Okay, Mr. Miranda again.
I think it's all about the maintenance of electrical.
Okay, maintenance of electrical tools. Okay, to be exact, our topic for today it's all about procedure and maintaining tools and equipment and electrical. So, thank you for your participation to play an activity. So now, let's identify what is maintenance. So now, will you please read? Okay, Mr. Tirao, will you please read what is the meaning of maintenance?
Maintenance is the process of keeping machine and equipment if good working condition so that the efficiency is retained and its life is increased.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Tirao. So now, being the owner of a tools and equipment, it is a big responsibility. And it is very important to keep your equipment in working condition, right? Because you need to remember that your tools and equipment are needed in routine maintenance. And also, all safety electrical equipment that is used on a continuous basis will require a lot more maintenance than your equipment. And that is used rarely. And although they will still need to be maintained in a good condition, even though you may maintain your equipment on a regular basis. So there will be the times that your equipment could break, so that you will then need to take on costs into consideration. So before deciding whether you should repair the equipment or to just replace it completely. Understand, class? And isn't always easy to avoid delays when carrying out routine safety electrical materials. and maintenance. So it also very important to prioritize your equipment for maintenance. And now here I and now here I'll show you the basic electrical tools and equipment needed routine maintenance. Okay, for the next slides. Um, where are the first one? Hammer. So will you please read, um, Miss Jessica?
Ma'am,
Mr. Raymond, will you please read the meaning of hammer?
hammers are mostly used tools in the shop. They should be gripped at the end of the handle.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Raymond. So now, when you say hammer is a simple tool designed to pounding in out the nails and other fastener into softer materials and such as wood or drywall. And a hammer has a different types, which are claw hammer, the most popular hammer for general work and available with the wooden, and the ball pen that normally used by electrician or linesman, and the sulfate hammer, which is when you use this one by putting tiles in your surface, and their face has a soft rubber. And for the next one is flyers. Okay, Miss Jessica, will you please read?
Yes, ma'am. Pliers are specified types of adjustable wrenches. The two legs move on a pivot so that items of various sizes can be gripped.
Okay, thank you, Miss Jessica. So now when you say pliers, is tools that decide to twist or to cutting the cables or conductors. And also pliers has a different types, which are combination pliers that is uses for cutting the conductors and to gripping also a tube. And for the other example of a pliers is long nose pliers. So this kind of pliers is for bending your conductor, and this kind of pliers is very versatile and can be used for a wide variety of applications such as electrical work, jewelry making and bending and twisting wire and fishing also. And pliers can last a lifetime if you take good care of them. So the secret to making your pliers last longer and cut like you all the time is to keep them clean. However, because it is hard to not use pliers, right, in dirty and greasy situations. So you have to make it a habit to clean them regularly or less after use. And this will keep them clean and free and dirt and foreign materials that can cause and corrosion. So for the next one is wrench. Okay, Miss Apales, will you please read?
Wrenches are used to turn screw, nuts, and bolts with hexagonal heads. Hexagonal means six-sided. A variety of wrenches are used in the shop.
Okay, thank you, Miss Apales. So now when you say wrench, it's a kind of tools that uses of how to twist a nut and bolts by sizes. And another reason for keeping wrench clean is to extend their life also, and dirt shortens the life of your tools. And so if you routinely clean your wrenches after use, you will make them last longer. So for the next one is machine tools. Okay, Mr. Malikdam, are you here? Mr. Venry, will you please read the meaning of machine power tools? Mr. Venry, are you here? Okay, Mr. Bernry is not around. So, Miss Jessa, will you please read the meaning of machine power tools?
Machine power tools. Machine power tools are tools manipulated by our hands and with the use of electrical energy such as electric drill, grinding wheels, vacuum cleaner, and others.
Okay, thank you, Miss Jessa. So now, when you say machine tools, when it comes to machine tools, it's extremely important to perform the proper maintenance on them in order to ensure their longevity. So, when whether it's the maintenance on a machine motor, operational components, or specific attachment, the importance of routine check-up cannot be stressed enough. So, the last thing that you want to happen is a machine breakdown. So, because of the improper machine, in order to properly conduct a machine checkup. So, for the example of a machine tools is electrical drills. So, electrical drills has an electrical motor that drives a chuck. The chuck does jaws that can be opened and then closed to grip a drill kit. So, when you say electrical drill, is you the uses of this is when you say it's functioned by making a hole in your wall. And for the next one is um, grinding tools. So now I'll be the one to read. So when grinding tools is can be either bench mounted or installed on a pedestal. They may either have a grinding wheel, fuel or two grinding wheels. So when you say grinding tools, it's designed for sharpening, cutting, slicing, or chopping. And you need to ensure that these components maintain their sharpness. So if you don't perform doing maintenance on a specific part, that you need to be sustain a particular sharpness. So could be putting production quality at very high risk. So the sharpness of a machine part it is important because you need to make sure that material are shaped and correctly and accurately. So this could include checking the sharpness of tools like and builds and precision cutters. So did you understand, class? And now let's
Yes,
moving
ma'am.
on. Okay, thank you for your response. So now let's moving on the next slide is the which is 6 tips to properly maintain your tools and equipment. Okay, for the first step, uh, Mr. Uh, Mr. Raymond, will you please read the first step?
First steps. Clean out the dust to make sure that your electric tools are ready to go when you are. Keep them clean and free of dust. Spend some time to clean out the dust every once in a while on your tools while they are inactive in storage.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Raymond. So now, when you say clean your tools, when you say clean out the dust, which is mean clean your tools, or the best way to store your tools is to clean them after it use. Because if you don't maintain your tools, they will accumulate dust, dirt, and grease, right? And also, they won't be as effective when you need to use them the next time. And ensure that your tools are free of grease and oil before storing them because it help to maintain their condition and prolong their lifespan. For your hand tools, um, clean them. I'm so sorry, class. So, for your hand tools, clean them as soon as possible because The longer dirt stay on, the harder it is to clean. And start by removing any dirt collected during use with a brush or a cloth. And use also a brush or other soft cleaning implement to get into all the tight pieces of your tools. And next, use mild soap and water. Be sure not to use hard chemical glass because as they can be dangerous and make them unsafe to use. And finally, maintain your tools rinsing with clean water and drying off. Afterward, you can wipe your tools with a dry cloth. And for your power tools, unplug and disconnect power tools and also vacuum off and dust that easily accessible. And then use compressed air to get rid of any dirt or debris in the vents. And also clean rusted tools as soon as possible because by using is a stiff brush with the light pressure, you don't scratch the metal surface. And also use some spray on a corrosion protector to decrease the rust rate. Understand, class? And
Yes, ma'am.
okay, thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
Okay, and additionally, class, to clean out the dust of your tools, make sure that you speak and lubricate any power tools part that needed lubrication to avoid corrosion or kalawa. And for the next one, Miss Jessica, will you please read?
Yes, ma'am. Check the cords. Look for tear or cut insulator on the power cords in your electric tools. This will ensure that your electric tool can get the power that it needs to function without an accident.
Okay, thank you, Miss Jessica. So now for checking your cords, always inspect cords for defect. First, check the power cords for cracking, fraying, and other signs of wear or faults in the cord insulation. And for the second class, for damaged switches and ones with faulty trigger lock, always check that. And for the last one, inspect the plug for a crack or for missing and loose or faulty prongs. And if you see the insulator conductor rather, we have a cut. Please insulate the the cut of your cord by using electrical tape. And for the next one, um, okay, Mr. Argel, will you please read the third one?
Use the right tool correctly and use tools correctly and for their intended purposes. Follow the safety directions and operating procedures recommended by the manufacturer. When working on a circuit, use approved tools with insulated handles.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Argel. So now, use the right tool correctly. And class, I know that everyone has heard the saying that the right tool for the right job. And you are the only as good as your tools, right? Because their saying are very true when it comes to the choice and use of tools in the construction site. Um, Remember that tools are designed for a specific need and purposes, and using any tool in a appropriate in wrong and just plain dangerous, right? And to avoid personal injury and tool damage, select the proper tools to do the job well and safely. And for the next one, Mr. J. Art, will you please read the number 4?
Protect your tools, keep tools and cord away from heat, oil, and sharp objects. This hazard can damage insulation if a tool or cord hits up. Stop using it. Store, report the condition to the supervisor or instructor immediately.
Okay, thank you, Mr. JR. So now, when you say protect your tools uh, or monitor your environment, because
Ma'am, nakamute po kayo.
I I'm so sorry. And thank you, Mr. Argel again. And now let's proceed. When you say protect your tools, it calls that monitor your environment. Meaning of the best environment to keep your tools and environment and equipment in its dry, clean, and organized space. And this environment help you find what you need when you need it, right? And please preserve your tools and keep your work area looking professional. And class, please always remember that never store your tools in a hot or humid place, especially metal ones. Meanwhile, a dry and cool place with a low humidity level help maintain your tools for a long time. And keeping your tools in the damp and stuffy garage or basement is not ideal, class. So understand before we
Yes,
proceed.
ma'am.
Okay, thank you
Yes,
for the response. And for the next one is I'll be the one to read. For the number five, use double insulated tools or portable electrical tools are classified by the number of insulation barriers between the electrical conductor and the tool and the worker. So here is the symbols of the double insulated symbol. So now when you say double insulated tools, such as equipment is identified by being distinctively marked. And this marking consists of the double insulation symbols, a square within a square, and the words double insulation. So of the equivalent word double insulated, so by using double insulated tools is to avoid the possibility of electrical shock. Understand, class?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So now, for the last one, um, will you please read, Mr. Miranda?
Storing your tools. Keep your electric tools stored in their original cases and containers. This will keep them free of dust and dirt while they are not being used.
Okay, Mr. Miranda, thank you. So now, when you say storing your tools, so maintain tools storage system is a must, right? Because it will keep your tools in good condition and make them easy to find. And you're going to invest in quality storage container and organizer because investment will help you to keep your work tools sorted and easy to find also, and keep your work tools in an accessible place. When you need to use them, you won't have to go on a mystery hunt and waste time searching for them, because when storing your tools, always keep them off the floor. And there are several tools storage system option, which is bag, drawer, and chest. Did you understand the six ways to maintain your tools and equipment, class?
Yes,
yes,
ma'am.
Okay, very good. So now let's proceed to the the classification of uh, non-functional and functional tools. And now, Miss Sapales, will you please the meaning of functional tools?
Yes, ma'am. Functional tools and equipment are those that are in good condition and can perform its regular function rather.
Okay, thank you, Miss Sapales. So now, when you say functional, is yung mga tools and equipment na in good condition. And which is you can use it properly and you can use safety. And for the next one, Mr. Raymond, will you please read the meaning of non-functional tools?
Non-functional tools and equipment are those that are not able to perform its regular function because of impaired and damaged part.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Raymond. So now, class, when you say non-functional tools are tools and equipment that we have a damage in their parts. So that in these non-functional tools, you can repair or replace before you use. And to avoid having non-functional tools, follow the tips that I discussed to how properly maintain your tools and equipment for long-lasting uses. And now let's proceed to the example of non-functional tools. Okay, for the first one is hammer with a broken handle. Okay, never use a hammer with a split or damaged handle. The practice of taping and handle is dangerous and can result in injury to the user as well as their lead personnel. Because if your hammer has a broken handle, it is dangerous and can result in injury to the user as well as turbid personnel. And and also class, please always report striking faces before they were down for enough to allow the body of the hammerhead to contact the word surface. And please never use a hammer with a lost end handle or a broken handle. And for the next one is screwdriver with a broken handle. The meaning of a broken handle, bent blade or a dull or twisted tip may cause a screwdriver to slip and result in the hammerhead and sharp square edge bit will not slip as easily as the rounded one. So screwdriver with a broken handle. So if a wooden handle on a tool such as a screwdriver is splintered or cracked, and the head of your tool may fly off and strike the user of another worker. So to avoid that kind of hazard, please do not use a screwdriver with that with a broken handle or damaged handle. And for the next one is long nose pliers with damaged jaw. Okay, Miss Jessa, will you please read? Okay,
Long
Miss.
nose pliers with damaged jaw. Make sure that the toothed jaws are clean and sharp. Greasy or worn down jaws can result to compromise safety. Such tools also require increased force to hold the workpiece, which in turn increases the risk of muscular fatigue and repetitive stain injuries.
Okay, thank you, Miss Jessa. So, long nose plier with damaged jaw. For the next one is electrical equipment with damaged cord. Miss Jessica, will you please read?
Ma'am, saan po? Worn, frayed, or damaged insulation electrical hazard because the conductors could be exposed. Contact with an exposed wire could cause a shock. Damaged insulation could cause a short leading to any wire or other conductor is an electrical arcing or a fire.
Okay, thank you, Miss Jessica. So now, when you say damage cord, the electrical cord on your equipment contains a live wire, right? And that is secure, insulated. But if a cord becomes fray, and the live wire can be exposed, and this is dangerous and can leave you vulnerable electrical fire or electrical shock. And okay, let's proceed to the functional tools. So now, here are the different example of functional tools. Okay, number one, standard screwdriver with no damage. For the second one, Phillips screwdriver with no damage. And for the third one, combination pliers with a no damage. And number four, wire stripper with no damage. And for the sixth one, portable electrical drill with no damage. And for the last one is long nose pliers with no damage. Did you understand, class?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
I guess that this is the end of my discussion. So let's have an activity for the understanding of our topic for today, class. So are you ready?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you
Yes.
for the response. So now I have here a picture that you will identify if the picture I show is in proper maintenance or improper maintenance. So may I call Miss Jessica to answer the number one? It is improper maintenance or improper maintenance. Miss Jessica, will you please answer? Proper maintenance or improper maintenance? Uh, it is proper maintenance or improper maintenance?
Proper maintenance, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Miss Apales. So now for the next one, um, okay, you have a correct answer. And for the next one, Mr. J. Art, it is proper.
Um,
Okay, Mr. J. Art.
Improper maintenance, ma'am.
Okay, improper maintenance. Okay, I see if your answer is correct. Okay, you have a correct answer because the picture that I show have okay improper maintenance because the picture I show have messy and not organized tools and equipment. And for the next one, Mr. Raymond, Mr. Raymond.
Proper maintenance, ma'am.
Okay, your answer is correct. So for the last one is improper maintenance. So now let's proceed. And class, I'm so thankful that for answering our question. And all of you has a correct answer. And now, do you have a question? Any clarification of our
None,
discussion,
ma'am.
class? Okay, very good.
None,
So
ma'am.
so now I'll be the one to give one question. Okay, may I call Mr. Ferrer, Ferrer to answer the questions. So now, here is your question. Why do we need to value our tools and equipment?
Ma'am, why do we need to value our tools and equipment? In order for us to prolong their lifespan and to use them with a good condition, ma'am.
Okay, very good, Mr. Raymond. So for the next one, may I call Mr. Malitdam to answer number 2? Mr. Malitdam, raising your hand. Okay, Miss Jessica, please answer number 2.
Why is it important to have a daily maintenance before and after using tools and equipment? It is important, ma'am, because it is also for our safety and to be able and for the tools to last long.
Okay, very good, Miss Jessica. And now for the last one, may I call Mr. Tirao to answer number 3?
Why do we need to study the proper maintenance of tools and equipment? Ma'am, by performing a regular preventive maintenance, you are assured and your equipment remains to operate under safe conditions, both for the machine and the operators.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Tirao. So now, I'm so thankful for answering our question, and all of you prove it that you are listening very well. So to my discussion, and give yourself a virtual round of applause. Okay, and now let's proceed for your assignment. For your assignment that you will pass it on next meeting through my MS team. Please search the following. Number one, types of uses of lubricant. Number two, wire pulling lubricant. And for the number three, all-purpose anti-rust lubricant. And for the last one, use of cleaning solvent. Are we clear with that, class?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I know that so thank you, class. So for now, goodbye, class, and see you in the next meeting. So you may now leave the meeting now.
Bye,
Bye,
mom. Thank you
Thank you,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Bye, class.
Bye, ma'am.